Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting Grizzly Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy Patterson. Welcome on back for the Grizzly Talk Podcast. I know I've been away for a couple of days. You guys been loving it on Instagram. We've been away. There's a reason for that, Grizzly fans. We've been away. I've actually just came back from sickness. I'm feeling about 90% better today, so that's why we haven't been doing as much podcasting as we would like to do this week. Just me being sick, and I think another member was sick as well. So we're back officially on the Grizzly Talk Podcast. Hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting one. I have so many good exciting things to talk about here on the Grizzly Talk Podcast. Very good things that's coming out this week, y'all. If you guys are, aware on campus this week, there's so much that you guys got to catch up on for this week. There's so much going on for the college campus this week, and we're here for it. We're going to make sure that you guys get the information that you need for the Grizzly Talk Podcast. So let's get on to it. Let's dive into some news announcements. Of course, big shout out to, of course, the Outdoors Avengers organization here on campus. Of course, I've been in contact with Brandon Elm, and he's going to join the podcast coming up this week. Him and the rest of the team for the GGC Outdoor Adventures. They had a big event. I think it was Thursday night rock climbing. They had a couple of days ago, and now we're going to have them on the podcast coming up later this week for sure. So he can talk about the organization. And he's going to talk about more events to come later on in the near future. So, again, something to be very excited about. They are the team that handles the Wobbly Wednesday. Talked about that in previous podcasts, but Wobbly Wednesday is the event they started doing. This actually started this year. It started this year, and it was a trend on GGC. They've been seeing it. They've been saying the students been loving that event. So, of course, it's going to be exciting. There's so many good things coming out for them as well. They got the stand-up paddleboarding coming out for sure. By the time you see it, it's probably going to be over. But they did it Sunday, September 8th. The stand-up paddleboarding is something else they were doing. White water rafting is coming up very soon. That's going to be this coming Sunday, September 15th. The cost is $35. This is the GGC Outdoor Avengers rafting in the Oki River. You guys can contact them now. GGC, of course, it's they can contact that at recoa@ggc.edu. Of course, that's recoa@ggc.edu. They're going out Sunday, September 15th for whitewater rafting. It costs $35 to go. You guys go check them out. It's going to be exciting. It's kind of like kayaking. If you guys know about kayaking, I recommend you guys go check that out for sure. So this week, you guys, now this is very important. I say this is very important because I like it when we try to do different events on campus and different awareness weeks. So of course this week it is the GGC C.A.P.S. Of course, the GGC Counseling and Physiological Services Center will be hosting the GGC Suicide Prevention Week during the week of 9/9, of course, September 9th, and all the way through September 13th. So please go check them out. Again, this is a event you do not want to miss this week because this is something so important. We host this all over GGC. Back when I was an RA, we did something like this at Res Life, and I was able to make a National Suicide Prevention Week board, and I let my past residents know about this event. So this is something that's dear to me. Please join them for the following activities in order to learn about warning signs of suicide, ways to offer hope and assistance, coping skills, and the way you can make a difference in someone's life here at GGC. Again, I encourage them. So I'm going to read out to you. It's a flyer. You guys can check your email. But there's so much things is going on this week. Of course, starting Monday, September 9th, they have the QPR for students starting at 12 p.m. in the Heritage Room. And that's going to be in the library. That's the Heritage Room that's in the library. Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Of course, a guest speaker by Juan Do. American Ninja Warrior and motivational speaker will be at Cisco, starting 2 to 3:30 p.m. at Cisco Building C. Of course, Wednesday, September 11th, depression screening, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in Building E, the third floor lounge. That's the student center. And of course, Thursday, September 12th, they're doing a film viewing and a Q&A and the S word. We all know what the S word, the S stands for suicide. But of course, it's a very, very interesting event. That's going to be 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. also in Cisco. So please, it's presented by GGC C.A.P.S, Counseling and Physiological Services. Please go check them out. Again, that's an event you just do not want to miss. Of course, the dining hall, if all of you students who eat from the dining hall, or especially Res Life students, they had Fried Chicken Friday that came up on Friday. So this past Friday. So hopefully they do more of that. A lot of people love fried chicken. I know I do. So you guys can check that one out. Of course, late night basketball was this past Friday. Again, if you missed it this past Friday, no worries. They're going to have more events of late night basketball. A lot of students love that kind of event because they're going out of their shell, and it's kind of like an intramural kind of thing. So, again, go check it out. Of course, it's late night basketball. Of course, so the next event, I believe it's going to be, October 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be when the next late night basketball will be hosting it up for sure. And of course, Campus Movie Fest. Campus Movie Fest has landed, of course. Hopefully they come back to GGC. I heard that they may not be at GGC. Campus Movie Fest, if you're listening, please come back to GGC. I would love to make sure that I do a film. We've talked to a lot of film buddies on campus, and we're going to get them on the podcast for sure for you fellow Grizzlies. But please, if you guys are interested in Campus Movie Fest, that's another event that I really recommend you guys going out and you trying, because it's going to be very exciting. So another another advertisement here for GGC, of course, GGC Athletics. You guys can go and meet the GGC women's and men's soccer teams, of course, on the YouTube channel at GDN Productions. Of course, you guys can do that. I believe they changed the name to GGC Athletics. But go to their YouTube channel, and you can see it on their Twitter too. Their Twitter at GGC Athletics. You can see and you can meet. They're about 2 minutes video each of both men's soccer and women's soccer teams. You can really meet them and see their profile. Check out their Twitter. Follow them on Twitter for all your updates for the games, scoring, when they're going to their next match, and when their next game, and also their post and pre-game interviews also on there. So I recommend it for sure. Yeah, so go check them out. And if you haven't been to a game yet, what are you waiting for? Go to a soccer game. You'll be amazed at what our men's soccer team and our women's soccer team can do. Go check them out. It's going to be very, very exciting. Of course, Grizzly fans, you've seen it. Fall is around the corner. If you haven't seen campus today, of course, the leaves are falling, and it's getting close to fall time. Of course, we're in our fall semester, as most people are aware. But now it's getting that comfortable fall weather where it's a nice breeze, and you can check it out on Georgia Gwinnett's Instagram page of students having their hammocks into the area where it's next to, I want to say, the H building. They have their hammock set up, and they're relaxing, taking a nap before their next class. So if you have a hammock, please go check it out. It's kind of a wooded area where trees are hanging. Hang your hammock and just relax for a minute before you get ready for your first exam. It's really cool. I'm looking at the pictures right now, and these students look very comfortable in doing their thing and just relaxing on their hammocks before they get ready for their next exam. And of course, this past week we celebrated National Waffle Week. Of course, they had Waffle House to come out, and a lot of students came and got their free waffles. And it looks like Coca-Cola was what I see here on the pictures. National Waffle Week. Go check them out. Again, that's amazing. National Waffle Week. Never thought I'd see that coming, to see that exists on the college campus. But National Waffle Week is something that helped bring a Grizzly family together. Yeah, so National Waffle Week. Of course, one more thing I want to mention on the Grizzly Talk Podcast for all of our fellow Grizzlies out there, of course, This is the 2019-2020 alternative service break trip. Of course, reading from the email from Norey Castro. Greetings, Grizzlies. On the behalf of Grizzly Serve, I am excited to announce the 2019 and 2020 alternative service break trip that will be taking place Sunday, March 1st to Friday, March 6th of 2020. They will be going to Washington, D.C. Again, Washington, D.C. So take advantage of this, Grizzlies. So if you have absolutely no plans for spring break, I recommend that you guys go out and join something like this. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been to their service trips. Now, this trip is costing at the rate of $350 per student. This will be covering their flights, ground transportation, lodging, and most meals. So it's a really good deal for a lot of students to go out there, not only to hang out with their fellow Grizzlies, their fellow classmates in college here at GGC, but it's something to really learn from. This is something that you might can put on your resume, and you're really going out and you're serving your community, and you really get to do some service there. So I understand this. I really do understand this because they're really implementing the leadership aspect of this trip. So this is one of the trips that you want to take advantage of. Honestly, take advantage of this because this only comes once in a lifetime where you have an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. So it's the alternative spring break trip. So again, if you have no plans for spring breaks, if you're not going out of the country, if you're not doing anything, if you're just staying at home, probably reviewing for your next test that next week, take advantage of this trip. I recommend that you guys probably will not regret this because this is a trip that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I encourage everyone to go out there and take a trip like this because, again, you're going to Washington, D.C. If you haven't been to Washington, D.C., like I haven't, I recommend it for you guys. I would love to see the students on this trip, and who knows? Maybe the Grizzly Talk Podcast might go on this trip. Maybe we might do a podcast. You know, you never know. As I'm looking at fellow students, you never know what we're going to do on Grizzly Talk Podcast. So, again, this is something that I recommend you guys take advantage of. Of course, it's happening right now. They'll be leaving out for sure on March 1st through the 6th of 2020. So, again, look forward to that. And I just want to thank, and as I look at the students and I know they're telling me to wrap this up, I really want to thank every student out there at Georgia Gwinnett College who's been following us on our Instagram at Grizzly_Talk. We have over 400 followers. You guys have been loving us on Spotify. We've been doing our thing on IHeart Radio. Again, I cannot express my gratitude to the fellow students who follow us and really love what we're doing and really getting the word out there for GGC community. I am so proud of this RSO. I'm proud of the students that have joined the RSO, and I'm most proud of every RSO that came on the podcast so far, and we have many more RSOs to get onto the podcast to let their voice be heard for the GGC community. So by that note, that's going to wrap up GTP, Grizzly Talk Podcast. Stay tuned later this week as we're going to do more from Outdoor Adventures, and a little spoiler alert for you guys. I heard that we might be doing some RSO for RA at GGC Grand. So again, we might be having some RAs coming on the podcast very soon. More details about that a little bit later. So that's going to wrap it up here on today's podcast with Grizzly Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy Patterson, and on behalf of the RSO and all these students, thank you so much for listening to us, and we'll see you guys in our next podcast. Take care.